Okay, we're gonna learn how to make a scrunchie today. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make one. It's really easy, and you only need a couple materials. One thing that you need is fabric, and your piece of fabric for one scrunchie is gonna be about 21 to 22 inches long. Basically whatever you have. The one I have is 21. You're also going to need a piece of elastic, which is about 9 to 10 inches long. The skinny ones are good. You can go a little bit thicker. You're also going to need a safety pin to attach to the elastic. So what you want to do once you cut your fabric is you want to fold it in half. And if you want to, you could take your pins and pin along the edges so they don't come apart while you're sewing. I'm going to skip that part just because it takes a little extra time so I can show you how to do this. So you fold it inside out like that. You put it in your machine and get your needle in place. You want to go about 1/4 of an inch in from the top. And then you want to stitch all the way down. So you want to stitch all the way down, leave the bottom open, and cut your thread. And then you are going to turn this piece of fabric inside out. And the best way to do that is just to take your thumb and start to poke it through. Once you start to get it inside out, you can take something like a pencil and work your way through getting it inside out. Use your thumb for a little bit. I'm actually going to have Lily do that part, so I'm going to trade off. Okay, so you can turn it inside out either with your fingers or a pencil or a crochet hook or a knitting needle, whatever you have. Lily's fingers are small, so she's able to turn it inside out using her fingers, and you're going to end up with a long fabric tube. Okay, and now Lily's going to show you how to put the elastic into your long, skinny piece of fabric tube. So you're going to feed the end with the safety pin in. Turn it a little bit, so get it up to the camera. So you're going to work it along and fit it, because you can feel the safety pin, and you're going to grab it and scoot your fabric over. So the safety pin's giving you something to grab onto that you can feel through the tube. And you're seeing how it's starting to scrunch up as you go, as she feeds it through. So now you've got your safety pin end and you've got your loose end of elastic. So we're gonna trade off again. She's gonna film me attaching it. Okay, so now we've got our safety pin end and we've got our loose end of fabric. And I made them a little bit longer so you could see and give yourself a tail to work with. So I stitch it with the safety pin still in place. I think it's a little easier. So I'm just gonna line them up like that, and then I'm gonna put it into my machine. And for this, you're gonna use the back button. Whatever sewing machine you have should have a back button. So I'm gonna go forward and backward quickly. And what that's gonna do is make a bunch of stitches to hold this elastic together. So I'm just gonna go back and forth. I would do it like 5 or 6 times just to make sure you've stitched enough along the elastic to hold. And then once you pull it out, you might have a couple strings that got tugged together, which is okay. So then you've got this piece of elastic that's stitched together, and I'm going to cut it past it and just get rid of all that extra end. So that's what it looks like. And now what I'm going to do is well, first I'm gonna rethread my needle because the thread came out. So I'm gonna watch me rethread the needle. Okay, so back to starting. And then I'm gonna take these loose ends and I'm gonna try to tuck them in as best I can. I usually put one inside the other and then fold that little end over. Again, this is something you can have a pin for. You just don't want to ever stitch your machine over your pins because it'll break your sewing machine needle. But you basically want to line it up so that they're together. You want to put it into the sewing machine and line it up and do the same thing I did where I'm going to go forward and back. So I'm going to go forward and back probably 3 or 4 times. Okay, so that should seal up the scrunchie. Pull your threads out and trim them. Move it around, and now you've got a hair scrunchie. Okay, so we've got our finished scrunchie. These are all different ones that Lily has made. You can play with how big you want them. If you want a little skinny one like I just made, you go a little thinner with your thickness. You go about 3.5 inches. If you want a fatter scrunchie, you can go a little bit bigger and maybe do 4. But these are all the variety of colors you can use, and you can do different sizes, different fabric with texture. So lots of fun. We're going to post pictures of everything and description with the videos so they make sense. And hopefully you guys can make some awesome scrunchies like we just did.